Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. This week on In Touch, I speak with Lisa Wilson, Executive Director of the Hudson Valley Hospice Foundation, and Jeff Feldman of the law firm Feldman, Kleidman, Collins & Sappe LLP, and first Vice Chairperson on the Hudson Valley Hospice Board of Directors. Together, we discuss Hudson Valley Hospice's revolutionary new Hospice House, which just opened in Hyde Park. We demystify what hospice truly is and how it helps families in the Hudson Valley with end-of-life care. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded conversation between Lisa, Jeff, and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to another episode of In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program, and we got a great episode for you guys today. Happy holidays, by the way, and one thing about the holidays aren't always the easiest time. Sure, we have all the songs that say it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can be a very difficult time as well. You work so hard to make it this wonderful time of the year, but you might be grieving somebody, or you might be going through something where you're about to grieve somebody and your family is going through a tough time health-wise. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. And that's why we have services just like this here in the Hudson Valley. And I'm so happy and proud to have these two individuals in with us today. Today, we have Lisa Wilson, Executive Director of the Hudson Valley Hospice Foundation, and Jeff Feldman, first Vice Chairperson on the Hudson Valley Hospice Board of Directors. Guys, how are you?
Good. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited to get into things. And especially, Jeff, you have an incredible story to tell us in a little bit. And it's just amazing the timing of how it all worked out. So it just really goes into why hospice here in the Hudson Valley is so important. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, I want to ask, what is Hudson Valley Hospice? For those who are unaware of what hospice is, could we just get a little bit of an overview of that, please?
Hudson Valley Hospice is an organization that helps people and supports them and walks with them in end-of-life journeys. And we also have a palliative care practice, Hudson Valley Medical Health Choices. The palliative care group actually helps people before hospice. They may not ever need hospice, but that's for people who have things like long-term cancer, Alzheimer's, COPD, but it's not the last 6 months of life. Hospice comes in after that and takes care of people, providing services wherever they call home. So they could be at home, they could be in a nursing home, they could be in an assisted living group home, wherever they are, in the hospital for inpatient care. And as of this week, we have just opened the Hudson Valley Hospice House, so wherever home is.
Congratulations on that. That's such a big achievement to be opening the Hudson Valley Hospice House, and we'll get into the house specifically and the nitty-gritty of that because it really is an incredible place. And for those listening right now, on our website, we have pictures of this facility. Even though the pictures are gorgeous, it doesn't do it justice. So if you are in need of this, take a tour and see what this is for your family. But again, we'll get into that in a moment. You talked about how hospice can help out when it comes to nursing homes and assisted living situations. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there that gets hospice mixed up for nursing homes and assisted living houses and programs along those lines. So for anybody who might be confused of that, how would you describe that divide, that separation?
So when somebody comes on hospice, they have a diagnosis from a doctor that says if their illness had a normal trajectory, they would be with us for about 6 months more. And so somebody who's in a nursing home who might have called that home for a while gets to that point in their life, and then we come in to support that person with all of the things that we know how to do. Our staff is specialized in hospice care and end of life and making sure that people get what they need and what will work best in a variety of situations. So we work with the nursing homes and assisted living to make sure that everybody's getting those. There's a lot of nursing homes who think that they do hospice and palliative care, but we are experts in that. Most of our staff is certified in hospice and palliative care. This is their life's work. This is where their heart is. And they know and they can help educate family members and stay in touch with them if they're not able to be there. A lot of times people are in nursing homes because their family's far away. And so, it's a collaborative approach with the nursing homes, which we are lucky enough to be in and be able to offer this service. But for those that it's not, it's a different kind of care. And that's, I think, where some of the differences of what is that and the questions arise from. Hudson Valley Hospice serves Dutchess and Ulster County, and the nursing homes in there that we take care of people in, there's over 14 of them right now. And we go in and work with their staff that's there to provide end-of-life care that's very specialized.
Hospice is very misunderstood. Most people, not most people, but a lot of people believe when they hear the word hospice, it's like throwing in the towel or giving up, as opposed to looking at it as getting the experts to help you through that last part of your journey so that you and your family and those around have an understanding of what that last part of the journey is going to be like, so that you understand what's next and what's going to happen, what to do and what not to do. It really makes a remarkable difference as far as that aspect of anybody's lives. And for those that are going to survive, it makes a huge difference because you know that you did the right thing. And you helped that person through that last part, and you had the right professional expertise. It's amazing to me how misunderstood the service is.
It really is. And as somebody who I was aware of hospice for many years, and honestly, I would always pass by Hudson Valley Hospice there on my way to school most days. But I never had that full understanding of what that was until I went through that with my grandparents back in 2020 and 2021. And I got to say, just the way that everybody walked us through it was phenomenal. We were treated so well. They treated our family members so well, but it was a confusing thing. I remember when the doctor first came to me the first time, was like, I think it's time to consider hospice. It's like, whoa, okay. And it is kind of like that sinking feeling. And as you said, almost throwing in the towel. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to give up, but it's not giving up. It's showing love and care and so much peace of mind for everybody involved in that. Now, Jeff and Lisa, I would love to hear your perspective on this as well, because I know both of you guys have been affected by hospice outside of working for it. You've also helped your families and those around you a lot. But Jeff, I want to start off with you. As one of the board of directors, you see things a little bit differently. So I was just curious on your perspective on how you see and handle your work with hospice.
I mean, from a board point of view, hospice was incredible when my partner, Paul Kleidman, was going through the last stages of his life at the ripe old age of 50 back in 2006. And I mean, obviously, I can't provide that kind of care, or I don't know what to do or how to do it. I don't have the skill set that these angels who work for hospice have. So I got on the foundation board so that I could help, from a board point of view, raise money and support the work of the people, that were providing the services. And after being on the foundation board for a number of years and chairing that for a number of years, I went over to the hospice board, which is the board that oversees the provision of the services. And I've been on that board for a number of years and have been the first vice chair and will become the chairperson in January. And so it's a manner of both boards in different ways are supporting the work of the incredible people who do the day-to-day frontline work of providing services to the patients. And from my point of view, I see my role as somebody who's supporting them.
That's terrific. And I'm glad that you are, and appreciate all the work that you've gone into it. And now, Lisa, outside of the executive director, Lisa, the person, Lisa, the family member, Lisa, what is that experience that you've had with hospice meant to you, and what have you seen through that as well?
So my mom is on hospice in South Carolina. She's not here. And I can't begin to tell you what it means to me to have her nurse texting me every day. This is what's going on. I'm far away and I can't be there every day.
Yeah.
And she goes in and sees her over the weekend. She just checked in. She didn't have to. She wasn't working the weekend, and lets me know what's going on. And as her care has progressed and her journey has progressed, it's gives you a comfort to know that those people are there. And I know the kinds of people that are there because of the work that I do that are taking care of my mom.
Yeah.
And in the home, whether it's their home health aides who are making sure she's clean and safe, or her incredible nurse who's taking care of her every day and giving her hugs because there's not anybody there to do that right now. And I look at our staff, I go out and talk to people all the time. That's part of my job, is to raise awareness.
Yeah.
And whether I'm at a wedding, which I was last night, or I am out talking as my professional self, people come up to me as soon as they know where I'm from and say, those angels, as Jeff said. And it doesn't matter. We have all kinds of people on staff that come into wherever somebody calls home, whether it's a nurse case manager, an admissions nurse who was just so thoughtful, because it is hard, as you said, to all of a sudden, sometimes doctors don't lead in very well on this subject, and all of a sudden they're saying hospice, and you're like, the H word, what the heck?
Yeah.
And, so from an admission nurse to a case manager, we have social workers. You mentioned before that grief that you have beforehand. It's called anticipatory grief.
Yes.
It's very, very real. Social workers work with people during that time that they're on service. We have music therapists who do amazing work. There are volunteers who are certified pet therapists. They go in. We have art therapy. Chaplains that meet people where they are spiritually. There's just a range of people that are making such a difference, and it's individualized for each person. And that's really what makes a difference. So for the person who was telling me last night that we were in their home just, last year for his wife, to the little girl that tugged on my jacket and said, thank you for taking care of my grandma.
Wow.
It's a privilege to support those angels in what I do, and to know that they're there wherever you are and wherever there's a need for hospice. I think we're pretty special at Hudson Valley Hospice, but there's angels working at all the hospices around the country.
That's really impressive, and thank you for sharing all that.
Sure.
Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking with Lisa Wilson and Jeff Feldman with Hudson Valley Hospice, and right now we got something really incredible, a great achievement to talk about right now. The Hudson Valley Hospice House, it just opened up, brand new, just opened up. It's on Route 9G there in Hyde Park. Driving by this place, it looks magnificent. We got photos online for you to check out. You'll really love this. But this is a one-of-a-kind facility that we have here in the Hudson Valley. And I would love for you guys to get into that for us.
So for the first time ever serving Dutchess and Ulster County, there is a hospice house. Before this week and before we opened, you had to send a patient who needed a hospice house either to a nursing home or out of the area. They had to go up to Albany, down to Calvary in the Bronx, across the river to Kaplan, which is a beautiful facility, but it's far, over to Danbury. And families had to travel to see their loved ones. And it's not a good situation for anybody when you get to this point in life. And so we've wanted to do this. It's been the dream and the hope that we could do this for how long, Jeff?
Well, for me, since 2007.
Yeah.
And I walked in the door in January 2009 and said, we don't have a house. So, and what are the plans for that? And here we are. It's been a journey since 2018, from a feasibility study to a planning study to a capital campaign, building the whole thing. And it's come to this beautiful 14-suite, self-contained, each one with a private bath, places for people, family members to stay in the room with their loved one. So there's pull-out couch, a recliner chair. They all open onto a beautiful meditative garden. There's dining facilities there and a chef that will make meals for not just the patient, but we're serving breakfast and lunch to families. There's different rooms. There's a sanctuary, a great room, reading nook, just little places to kind of go and gather in different ways. And the rooms were really designed with the patient in mind and the care of the patient. They are all, for the first time in New York State, general inpatient level capable. So they have high flow oxygen in them. They have suction in them. Anybody can be cared for in any of these rooms, no matter what level of care they need.
That's really impressive. The fact that you can offer all this for those within your services is so impressive, and it makes things so much easier. Again, I'm going to reiterate, peace of mind. It offers so much peace of mind. And the fact, as you said, the pull-out couches and people are able to sleep over and stay there with their family members if need be. However that works, that is fantastic, because it just really does bring people closer together when they really need to be. This is especially right now, this time of year, it is tough. We were talking about off the mic how, why didn't you wait until the new year? Why did you do it now during the holidays? People are waiting like, just get through the holidays. But you know what? I think we got an incredible story out of Jeff. Certain things happen for a reason, and the timing was just impeccable when it came to happening right before we even got onto the microphone. So I think this is such a powerful story and a very important one to share, because it really does show the need and the power that the Hudson Valley Hospice House will have in the community. So Jeff, could you please share your story with us?
So this morning when I got into my office, there was a message from the answering service that someone had called me over the weekend about their dad, who was in the hospital and was gravely ill. And when I returned the phone call, spoke to my friend's daughter, who indicated that her dad had been in the hospital, and she had called me over the weekend to ask me a question, but circumstances had changed, and she was just about to walk into a meeting with hospice. And I said, listen, I'm involved with hospice. If you need anything, if you need to know anything, please let me know. If I can help in any way, shape, or form, just call me back. And so about an hour before I got here, she called me back and she said, we just got finished meeting with the lady at the hospital from hospice. And the lady suggested that there's this new hospice house as an option for us. What do you think? So I said, look, you have three choices. Dad can stay in the hospital and he can pass away there. He can go home and have hospice people visit him at home. It won't be 24/7 care. It will be occasional care. Those people are phenomenal, but it won't be 24/7. Or you can go to this new facility that we just opened that is beyond incredible as far as its appearance, its soothing nature, and what it will afford you and your family as far as peace of mind is concerned, because you will have 24/7 care and somebody will be able to stay there with dad and be there, and multiple people can be there and he can have visitors. She said to me, look, that sounds great, but mom's not taking this word from anybody. I mean, as a compliment, but to me, only from me. She goes, would you talk to my mom and explain to her what you said to me? And I spoke to her mom, who I've known since 1984, 1985. And I explained that to them. And even though I've been involved in hospice since 2007, it's kind of incredulous and coincidental that this family that I've known forever will be one of the first patients at this new hospice house. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Again, unfortunate circumstances for your friend's family and everything, and heart goes out to them. But also, as you said, here you are, you're doing this work and you've been a part of this and building this because you saw the need and desire in the community, and here it is available for them.
The thing is, in my professional life, I can't turn back the clock and change things and make somebody all better. Yeah. Okay? I can only take them through the court system and try to do the best we can for them as far as that's concerned. And this I look at as being very similar or analogous in the sense that somebody has a life-threatening illness, they have a limited amount of time left with their family, so this affords them the opportunity to make the most of it and to help the person who's transitioning, as well as to help the family members through the transition. And more, not more importantly, but as importantly, we also provide services to people after there's a passing, as far as bereavement is concerned, which is as important for everybody involved as the whole rest of the process. It's a process, and as a society, we always want experts, okay? You want to go to the best auto mechanic. You want to have the best electrician. You want to have a plumber that has experience. You want the best doctor. it's amazing to me how people will go through this process that they're completely unfamiliar with about death and dying, yet they're willing to go on that venture by themselves as opposed to having the best experts.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And especially something that is so rudimentary human. So human. Unfortunately, we all will die one day, and, go to the experts, see that, get the care, enjoy that. And I'm glad that you brought up the bereavement and the services afterwards as well. That was something I wanted to bring up. I can say firsthand, I went through the bereavement services. It helped me out so much. It was the first time that I went through any kind of counseling. Actually, that's what prompted me to eventually do therapy. And it's been a phenomenal journey. And I'm so grateful for it because it really helped unlock a lot of grief inside of me, a lot of things I wasn't sure how to process. And it's helped me, move forward in other ways as well. But that's enough from hearing it about me. Lisa, could you tell us a little bit more of those bereavement services?
Right. So before we talked about social workers who are there during the process in anticipatory grief, but after somebody dies, we have bereavement specialists who are also social workers. And they help the family members, whoever feels that they need it, for 13 months following the death of their loved one. There's individual sessions, and then there's group that we have that are specific to the person who died. So there's widows groups, there's children's groups, there's a group that is for people who have lost an adult child, and we have them offering in Ulster and in Poughkeepsie. We also offer community groups. Mm-hmm. So those are available to anybody, even if their person didn't die on hospice. And we offer those. They're on our Facebook page. They're available to the community. They call into the bereavement group, and they find out, where the nearest one is and will it help them and get assigned to a group. So we're trying to also bring these expert services that we have to the community because not everybody does die on hospice.
Yeah.
And, and they're stuck, just like you said. This can be transformative is how we feel bereavement services are for generations to come because you've dealt with your grief, you've thought about it, you've talked about it, and generations to come after you are going to get you having had that experience and that professional help so that you're okay and you're leading a great life and not stuck.
Yeah.
And that affects not just you, it affects everybody that comes after you and how you view that. People really in this country struggle. We are one of the only countries in the world who think that we're going to defy death. It doesn't happen. It's going to happen to all of us, whether we like it or not. And when it happens to people, we have children's groups. I've watched them, and it's amazing. A child if their parent is having difficulty processing the death, imagine what that does to a child. And so the children's group, it doesn't matter what age you are. I always tell people they're like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young, I shouldn't need that. They'll be fine. You need to talk to somebody, even if it's just once. Some people just come in once, they kind of talk it through and go, okay, I really am okay. Especially if somebody's much older, they're sad, but their mom died. You need to process that, right? But you might not need a group. It's all just like the plan of care for a patient. It's individual for the grieving person. And we really try to make sure that it's transformative and that people, when they're done with whatever services they've chosen to and whatever works for them, that they're on to a life that's productive and good and they're able to continue. So it's something I'm really proud of us for because it really does make a difference. And this is the other part of, people who resist hospice. You can't do it all alone.
No.
You're not an expert in end-of-life care, most people, unless you've worked in this business.
Yeah.
And grief is not something that everybody's an expert in. You don't want them to be, at least, either. Yeah. Let us help you. Let us help the community with the community support groups. Let us help you individually, your family, make a difference. And the holidays are just such a difficult time. And we really want people to know that we're there for them.
Absolutely. No, I think, it's knowledge is power in this case. One of the main reasons so many people will procrastinate anything, especially something as end-of-life care, is the fear. the fear around it. And the best way to combat fear is with knowledge, and that's what you guys are offering there. And again, just the fact that, and also, as you said, with the generational habits, as you help your own grief, that'll help those who are to come. They will benefit from that wisdom and that growth that you went through. Very important. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley's award-winning public affairs and issues program. We're speaking with Lisa Wilson and Jeff Feldman with Hudson Valley Hospice. The new Hudson Valley Hospice House is open now and is ready to serve and treat patients in the Hudson Valley. We just heard an incredible story from Jeff about one of the first families that will now be taking part of it. And it's just beautiful that it is accessible and it's ready and it's there for everybody. Again, thank you guys so much for being here on this episode. As we wrap up, the last nugget I really want to hammer in, and we've already kind of touched on it already, but I would just love one last nugget about why this is so important to have right now during the holidays. And I would love to hear from both of you.
It's about community. We have this incredible community, and especially during the holidays, they need support.
Yeah.
Life doesn't just stop for the holidays. People are struggling, and I want them to know that we are here for them through the holidays and through their lifetimes as their journeys continue with their loved ones. Whoever needs us, we're here to help.
Absolutely. Jeff?
I mean, there is no calendar for going through this process, so it happens all the time. And you can go it alone without the expertise, or you can go through it with the expertise and know that you've done everything correctly and that you knew what to anticipate because you were taken through the process by a professional. It doesn't seem like there's much of a choice.
And it makes all the difference. And seriously, guys, thank you for the hard work that you guys have been putting in to make this hospice house a thing, to care for so many people in the Hudson Valley, and to make sure that these services are widely available to those who need them. So again, thank you so much. All the links and information can be on this in the description of this episode. Jeff, let's turn it to you real quick.
As the co-chair of the Capital Campaign Committee, anybody who's listening and wants to help us finance this and contribute to it, it's a really worthy cause. Please reach out.
Absolutely. And people can do that. They can go to the website, correct, in order to donate and to find more information, correct?
Or they can call me.
Or they can call you. What is your number that they can call?
They can call us at 845-240-7609.
Terrific. And the website again?
The website is hvhospice.org, and the main number is 845-240-7555.
Terrific. And again, all those links, numbers, and information will be in the description of this episode. So for anybody who needs it, it will be there. And of course, if you're looking to donate a little something to help out with the holidays, you want to embrace that spirit of giving, why not look into the Hudson Valley Hospice House? Am I right, guys?
Yep.
Absolutely. Thanks.
No problem. Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the award-winning public affairs and issues program that runs across Townsquare Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Lisa Wilson and Jeff Feldman. For more information on Hudson Valley Hospice, you can visit hvhospice.org or call 845-240-7555. If you're in need of personal injury law services, you can reach out to Feldman, Kleidman, Collins, and Sappe LLP at fkcs.law. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. I've been your host, Connor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time. Happy holidays.